coming up.
Why is this like a vicious cycle? Why is this like always happening to me? You know, I'm trying very hard. I'm a good person. I'm compassionate. I'm hardworking. But why do I always lose contract, lose money, or I don't do good with my relationship? All the answers are in your BaZi destiny chart.
Exploring life's journey, one story at a time. This is TrailHeads with Jim Barrett. Master Judith McKenzie is a globally respected Feng Shui and BaZi expert with over 15 years' experience in classical Chinese metaphysics. Now based in California, serving influential clients across the U.S. and the Philippines, including politicians, celebrities, business executives, to corporate leaders. She is known for her precise, science-based approach to BaZi and Feng Shui, grounded in centuries-old wisdom and stripped of superstition. Now she has a new book, Move with Clarity, the Strategic Destiny Blueprint to Master Wealth, Health, and Relationships. So Master Judith McKenzie, welcome to Trailheads.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's my honor to be here.
Well,
Thank you.
so glad that you joined me here. So we're going to be talking about several things, and at the core of it is going to be what I'm going to say is BaZi.
Yes, it's we actually pronounce it as BaZi.
BaZi. Am I saying it? BaZi. Okay. How did you first get introduced to it, and what drew you to first studying BaZi?
Well, in 2009, I was going through a really, really tough time. It was very difficult year for me. So I was like looking for a solution to what I was going through. I'm so used to fixing my own problems. I don't bother other people when I go through hindrances in my life. But then that year, I felt that I really need help. Like, I needed some direction. I needed an answer to, like, why am I going through this right now? Because the years prior to that was really good, you know, smooth and flowing. But in 2009, I was like, what is this? And then, so I was like, I need help. I really need to tell someone. So my friend, she told me, do you believe in Feng Shui? Then I said, you know what, right now, I'm open to looking into that. So I went to the website. She gave me this website, and then I looked into it and I said, hmm, why not? Right. And then next month, I flew to Malaysia and started my journey in learning Chinese astrology and Feng Shui.
Before your friend told you about BaZi, had you heard of it, or did you know a little bit about it before, or was this the very beginning of your journey?
You know what? To be honest, I remember one time my daughter, my eldest daughter, who's an architect, she asked me, Mommy, do you believe in Feng Shui? And then I said, that's nonsense. You know, because I was going through good luck. I was really going through a really good money luck, and relationship was good. Children are healthy. So I felt like there's really nothing to do right that moment. So I said, no, just nonsense. And then one time I was in the plane. Prior to this year, I was going through this magazine and I saw another Feng Shui master from Malaysia. And then I was like, interesting. And then that was it. That was it. Because prior to learning Batsu and Feng Shui, I was running a very successful manpower and events agency. So I was really busy. I was very driven, and I have no time for other stuff except, you know, very focused on my work. So yeah.
So let's go back a moment. So you live in the U.S. now. Tell me a little bit about where did you grow up? Where were you born? Tell me a little bit about your history.
I was born in the Philippines. I grew up there. And then I was running this business for 18 years. It's an events and manpower agency. I was also writing. I am a columnist in one of the local newspaper in Cebu, Philippines. I also run my own agency, right?
And you have kids. You said you have kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. I have four
Okay.
kids. I have my eldest is 30 years old, and then my second daughter is now 28, and I have a 25, and I have a 22 years old. Two
Hmm.
boys and two girls.
So you're a very successful multitasker with all of that work that you were doing and raising those kids. Congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you so much. Not easy,
So I'm going
but
to back up. I'm sorry. I'm going to
yeah,
back up just a second here and
yeah.
talk about this is where I introduce. So this Trailheads podcast is dedicated to exploring the vital connection between physical exercise, time spent outdoors, and mental well-being. That was sort of my path to it for myself. Our mission is to inspire individuals to engage in nature and movement as powerful tools for managing stress, building resilience, enhancing overall mental health. I met you and your husband in this hiking group, SCV Hikers, that I started in 2020. And it feels like, as you describe, Batsa, that there are some connections between what we do out there on the trails, what people do outdoors, and what you've done in your training. Is that accurate to say, or am I way off?
Yeah, because there is, of course, in my line of work, we have this concept called cosmic trinity, that there are three factors to human success or failure. The first factor is the heaven luck. This is the luck coming from your Patsu destiny chart based on your birth date and birth time. And then there's the second luck, which is the earth luck. The earth luck is your energy flow from your environment. This is also called Feng Shui. This is the luck coming from your surroundings. And then the third luck is coming from your free will, right? So your question was, is there a connection? Yes, because when you are in an environment where the mountain is healthy, it's lush, it's green, and when you immerse yourself in this environment, especially like Sunday when we do hike, this is where you also gain, it will also boost your luck being around these beautiful mountains.
So, for those unfamiliar, how would you explain Batsa in simple terms?
Okay, so Patso is actually a destiny reading tool where we can read your path, the path of least resistance for you. It's based on your birth date and birth time, written on your birth certificate. So when you align yourself with your destiny chart, it's like putting you in a path of least resistance.
As you were describing some of it, I felt like, oh, I'm from when you were describing like the mountain. I have found peace and found structure to a certain extent just being out there. Because,
Okay.
for example, people will use antidepressants, and there's certainly a place for antidepressants and that kind of thing, medications for people who have chemical imbalances. But those never worked personally for me. But getting out in nature has, and it almost I feel better if I'm have anxiety, if I'm feeling depressed. When I get out into nature and I see that mountain and I see the beautiful greens or the fall colors or whatever, it puts me at ease.
When you go out there, right? And then you immerse yourself with plants or trees. We call it the wood element, right? Especially if based on your Patsu destiny chart, you need the wood element, then you will be more comfortable, or you feel like you feel energized when you are in this environment. Okay. Now, some people, let's talk about feng shui or the earth lock or the energy flow, because this is basically different from patsu. So, I have to say this because some people, they said, oh, you know what? Can you please feng shui me? Actually, what they meant was, can you read my chart? Feng shui is really the surrounding. Like, for example, especially if your house energy flow internally is not, that flow is not good. When you stay home, it's a different energy when you go out there. Let's say, for
Mm.
example, you live in a place where the flow of chi or the flow of energy is not balanced, you would always want to go out. That pushes you to go out. So that's why this could be the answer to your question. Why that when I'm outside, I feel so like I'm more of like calm and relaxed, and I can think very well. But when I go home, I feel restless, or th- I feel like I want to go out again, right? However, it could also be that yes, there's an alignment based on your Bazi and the Feng Shui.
That makes sense because I've always associated feng shui with like a structure, your house, how you have it organized.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what core principles or philosophies form the basis of Bazi?
Okay, so Bazi is based on the five elements, like the wood, the fire, the earth, the metal, and the water, and the interaction of the yang and the yin polarity. So that's the
Hmm.
basis, the core principle of Bazi, the Chinese astrology.
Okay. And so would it be helpful because in advance you sort of looked at my chart. Would it be helpful to explain some of these principles and philosophies when talking about my chart?
Sure. So when I read a Bazi destiny chart, I usually ask for birth date and birth time. And
Hmm.
then we have a software where we generate the chart. So from there, I would be able to see the elements present in your pots of destiny chart.
How should we best proceed? Can we proceed with some examples from my chart?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so based on your birth date and birth time, which you provided to me, I can see that 2026 is a very, very busy year.
Mm.
Busy year of making a lot of money. Yeah, so creative wise, and this is really more of taking action. Taking action. However, based on your in your Pati chart, there's already the element of fire, which is, in 2026, it's a very strong rooted fire, young fire force year. So people like you who will benefit from fire energy, you can really see that, there's a lot of change going on in 2026 for you.
Okay.
And this is all related to creation and, brand development related.
So we may be right in the middle of it right now as we're talking. This may be a part of it right here.
Yes, it is. It is actually. This is. And according to Feng Shui, the next 20 years started in 2020. The fire is very strong. So anything related to beauty, wellness, um, guidance, and you know, related to virtual, like this YouTube channel that you have, this is going to like really, really explode in the next 20 years.
I like that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
How do you balance technical calculation with intuition and experience?
Oh, wow. Because I'm a more of a scholar than into, of course, and my intuition is also very strong because that's also based on my chart.
Hmm.
However, when I read charts, this is more of because of my 15 years of studying and training, right?
Hmm.
But as I develop my skill, I also strengthened my intuition. But more than anything, like if I look at a person, I don't judge them. I don't like, oh, okay, because I also do face reading. But because of the advent of the, you know, people what they're doing with their faces, sometimes it's not more accurate, but I can see that, okay, oh, the eyes are glowing, the skin is glowing. That's where okay, must be facing a good luck cycle or good luck year. But more than anything, I go back up. If they are willing to give their birth date and birth time, I would be able to see more accurately what the person is going through. But intuition aside, I would always go back to what is this person going through? Is this person a need to manage more in 2026, or he needs to maximize in 2026?
Do you typically start with the person's birthday information or does it depend on the person?
It's always based on the birth details of the person.
So how long does a typical read take for bots? What does the process look like?
They can do 1 hour to start with. And usually I would tell them to prepare their questions, making sure that they're ready, their mind is open. Because I know that some people, they have experience reading before maybe other system. However, I would usually tell them, okay, you need to make sure that you come to the reading with like zero expectations, because you might have an expectation based on the reading you've done before. However, I do differently because every destiny reader master, they have their own way of connecting to the reading and connect with the client.
What kinds of questions or concerns do clients usually come to you with? Just so if there's somebody out there thinking about it, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to share. What are the kinds of things that you typically will hear from a client asking you questions about?
Okay, to start with, I want to tell them that when you come for a reading, you have to fully trust me. Confidentiality is
Mhm.
very well protected. Some clients would say, tell me about myself. Just tell me. Because sometimes they would test me how accurate my reading is, right? So I would usually tell them, okay, let's do reverse engineering. Let's try 10 years ago. And I would specifically point a year where that year was a really tough time for them, or they made so much money on that year. And then they
Hmm.
would say, oh my God. I mean, like, that's really accurate. And then I would say, okay, let me tell you something about your character, right? And then they said, oh, that's really on point. And then when I got them to that level, or to that energy where, okay, he's now comfortable, or she's now comfortable, and then we started the reading, because I want them to come, and I want them to feel safe. I
Hmm.
want them to feel that there's hope if there's anything that, everybody is going through something, and that I am very capable to give them direction. So if I establish that from the beginning, then the person will be more open to receive the message or the information they need to be able to get answers from what they're looking for.
Can BaZi predict specific events, or is it more of an energy map, or is it both?
When reading a puzzle, I don't use the word predict. I use the word forecast,
Hmm.
because I have a point of reference, which is the birth date and birth time. Heaven lock or your puzzle chart are all chances, potentials. The heaven lock is the lock which you have no control over. No.
Hmm.
But being aware what you have, what to manage, and what to maximize based on your chart, either way, you win, because you're moving with clarity. You're moving
So we play an active role in this. Then you're saying it's not just this is going to happen. We play an active role based on our knowledge to some extent.
correct. Remember the cosmic trinity, the heaven lock, which is the information you will get from your chart, the earth lock, which is the environment based where you live or where you work. Because even if you have a very good lock in the heaven, but your feng shui is not good, it will bring down the luck from the heaven. But if you have a good, let's say 2026 is good, and you're staying or you're living in a very good feng shui house, the energy flow is good, that will boost. And then your man luck, which is your free will, your action, your execution, your decision, your choices. When you're more aware, then this will, like this year in 2026, for example, is gonna be really good year.
I love that.
Yeah, it's what you call the alignment of energy. That's like, oh, are you aligned? Are you aligned? But what are you aligning? So people get all this information from what they read, what they hear. Like, what should they do? Then, if you have this information and you have access to a destiny reader or a feng shui master, this is the time where you're like, okay, we need to fix the energy flow in the house.
Hmm.
Or I need to know, why is this like always happening to me? I'm trying very hard. I'm a good person. I'm compassionate. I'm hardworking. But why do I always lose money, or I don't do good with my relationship? You know, all the answers are in your Patsu destiny chart.
Let me ask you this. What are the most common misconceptions about BaZi that you encounter?
Usually people are scared. Maybe because from what they're hearing, or maybe they had an experience with a Patsu reader who is not equipped mentally, emotionally, because you have to be careful who to choose. Because a feng shui master, a Patsu master, sometimes would base it from her experience or her principles and values and all that, right? So let's say,
Uh-huh.
for example, you come to a reader and says, you know what, it's a bad year. And then stop there, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
A good Patsu reader, you have to be able to give you strategies. Like, how are you going to cope up? How are you going to look at this? Okay, what is in your chart that can help the person cope up the bad times, not only the good times? Like for me, you have to have that compassion. You have to put your shoe in her shoe. Like she's now, maybe she's having all this anxiousness and she needs help, right? You should be able to like, okay, calm down. I got you. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. So, maybe they have that because some parts reader are just readers. And sometimes you cannot blame them. They're just reading. However, you have to be more than that because you have a responsibility. For me, this is a responsibility. I think that's one of the reasons why that people are afraid because they have this information, but they don't know what to do with the information.
So you help guide them through that process in disseminating the information and how to respond to it?
Yes, and how to be able to make sure that it would happen based on the manlak has to be there because the information will only be an information if you don't act on it properly,
Hmm.
right? Especially in remember the year where the pandemic, what year was that? 20
2020?
2020. That was the I think the water metal year. People who have the water as their favorable element, even it was pandemic, they still made a lot of money.
You answered the next question that I had, which was how do you handle emotionally sensitive topics or difficult charts? And you were kind of doing that well
Okay.
as well.
When you, let's say 2026, if fire is favorable to you, this is going to be a good year. But what good it is, it depends on based on your chart.
Okay. Do you think that Batsa can coexist with scientific worldviews and modern psychology? Can it coexist with science in general? I mean, that some people who may be skeptical, how do you tie it together with things that people may understand, with their own concepts of science, etc.?
I have to start with why people are skeptical. Number one, because they thought that this is spiritual. Okay, there's nothing spiritual about this. This is more actually of a science because there's a calculation involved. It's a system. It's a system. You just don't get that from nothing, like other reader would do. The charlatans I call, right?
Mm.
But this one, there's a calculation. This is a very structured system where you follow structure, right? In my experience, why people are skeptical because because they think that astrology is related to spiritual and some people they don't want that. And then number two, because they think that it's more of a psychic work.
Mm.
Because I am not a psychic, I always tell them I am not a psychic, I am a reader. I have a point of reference where this reading is coming from.
Well, that sort of takes me right in naturally into this next question, I think. How does Batsa reflect concepts from Taoism and traditional Chinese cosmology?
The path is based on the five elements, right? The fire, the earth, the metal, the water, and the wood. However, these elements are also based on the planetary positions. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's also based on that one. So yes, it is connected.
Okay.
Mm.
What has Batsa taught you about human nature?
That we operate based on our path chart, right? Let's say for example, your energetic profile is more of like very nurturing, very helpful, always there to help other people, which is the same with me. I'm also a direct resource energetic profile. Our default would be, how can I help? Like, how can I be there for you? What
Mm.
is it that you need that I can be of service of? In Patsa chart, 70% of your character is already there.
Hmm.
If you are aware of this, you would be able to align. Because when we were growing up, some parents, especially the parents who are protective of their children. I want you to do this. I want you to do that, right? We try to control our children. And then our children, they're so scared of disappointing us. They would say, okay, I will take that and all, but this is not the path for them. And then they grow up unhappy because that's not what they want. Especially, let's say, for example, I have clients who are like, can you read my son's chart, my daughter's chart? Because I want to know, I want to align them already as early as now, so that I can, we would be able to align them with their path, because we don't want to control them, which is really a good decision for the parents. Or some parents would say, I want to love my children better. I want to understand them. So we read their chart. Okay, let's say some children, they want to be praised. Some children, they're very disciplined, that if you don't follow your promise to them, they take it so personally. So different children, different charts. It's the same as the adults. But once a parent start young, knowing the destiny chart or the positive chart of their children, it would be very, very beneficial.
What aspects of BaZi still challenge or fascinate you?
For 15 years, I'm observing the energy every day, especially my chart. Like, however, when you know paths very well, you would be able to have conscious acceptance. Let's say, for example, today I know that I have a clash. My energy is very sensitive. I can be triggered right away. So I would communicate, let's say, communicate to my husband. I would say, honey, I have a clash today. I'm easily triggered. Stay calm or don't engage. I won't be triggered today. When you're aware of that, you can actually elevate your energy, because when you accept that not every day is a happy day, not every day is a sad day, because energy, it's not static. It's always moving every 2 hours. It's changing. It's
Hmm.
changing. It's flowing. So when you're aware that it's just the energy, that you don't have to take things personally, then you will be more happier.
I am so happy. You keep moving ahead. The more you're talking to me, the more questions you answered that I haven't even asked you yet. So that's good.
Oh, okay.
But because I was gonna ask you, how did you handle any, without getting too personal, how do you handle when you see something that's really difficult or challenging in your own reads, or people you love? How do you handle that? And you just really address that, because it seems like it's a process. It's having the knowledge, and how do you interact with it? I remember there's a line from Yoda, from in The Empire Strikes Back, when he's asked, "Are my friends going to die?" And then he says, "Difficult to say. Always emotion is the future," because we do have a role here. It sounds like, if I, not to speak for you, that with this information that you share with your clients, they then have an opportunity to respond to that or not. Is that accurate?
Yes, if they're let's say, especially, let's say, for example, a husband and a wife come to me for a reading, and then I tell them this is how the wife wants to be loved, or how to receive love, or how to give love, and the husband as well. They're more like, okay, they explain, they will understand each other more. There's growth to it because there's awareness.
So you have a new book out, and it is called Move with Clarity: The
Yes.
Strategic Destiny Blueprint to Master Wealth, Health, and Relationships. Can you talk a little bit about the book?
Okay, so the book is based on Patsu astrology. And the basis of that is your birth details, birth date, birth year, birth month, day, and hour. It's like a cosmic blueprint of your life when you're born. We have no control over this, but when we are aware, we can make well informed decisions. So this book is based on that. It's like a success toolkit you can use to put you in a path of least resistance.
So who did you write the book for? Was it for beginners, practitioners, or people seeking personal guidance, would you say?
Oh my goodness, it's for everyone. It's for everyone, especially for those who are ready to change their lives, like me. When in 2009, when I said, like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and let my life go down the drain. I have to do something about this. And then what's when I learned Patsu and Feng Shui. So, but for the others, they don't have Master Judith McKenzie, right?
Right.
I was going to different countries, learning from different masters, and, I was like, okay, if I be able to help myself and my children, I would be able to help a lot of people as well. When I saw that, it was like, you know, um, like where I am right now is because of the skills that I have. I make sure that I'm using it for myself. If people say, oh, what's your evidence that this actually is legit or it's true? Well, I am the living testament to that. I was able to, help me and my children to where we are right now because of my
That-
skills.
That's fantastic. I was going to ask you too, do you have a favorite section of the book? Is there something in there that you maybe really needed before you wrote the book? Do you know what I mean?
That's a very good question. I really wrote the book because not everybody right now has the resources to come for a reading, right? So in my mind, like, how can I reach out to these people who, because there are a lot of people who would ask me, can I get a reading? And then when I give them the rate, they would say, oh, next time, right? Because of course I also did an investment, right? So I said, okay, what can I do right now that can also help these people? So this book was written for the people who are already ready to make a change for their lives, and that can start with reading the book, and then after that, when after they've changed something and improve their situation, that's when, like, oh, Master Judith, I'm ready to get a reading from you. I want an in-depth reading. Then they go for
That's
that.
great. That's
Yeah,
awesome. All right. So we're going to do a lightning round. Are you ready?
sure.
Okay. Here we go. Dogs or cats?
Both. Sorry.
Okay.
Both. No, I can't choose.
All right. Here's now we're some of these are going to get into the metaphysics we've been talking about.
Okay.
Destiny or free will?
Destiny first. Destiny.
Okay. All right. Is time an illusion?
Wow! What is that question? Time is now.
Okay.
The right now.
All right. Um, do we have okay, maybe the let me go to an easier one. Stand by. Because these are not fair. I was
I
going to
know.
say, do we have a soul? Do you want to talk about that? Do we have a soul?
Of course we have. Yes.
Okay. If you could travel in time and you could only go backwards, not forwards, if you could only travel in time backwards, where would you go?
There's nowhere I want to travel but now, here, right now. I
Okay.
still want to be here.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I like the curveball. That's good.
I want to be here. I'm not traveling to the future or from the to the past. I want to be here wherever I am right now. This
That's
is,
good. That's terrific.
yeah.
So let's go back to your book, Master Judith. Again, it is called Move with Clarity, the Strategic Destiny Blueprint to Master Wealth, Health, and Relationships. Where can people find this?
So they can purchase them at Amazon KDP and in Instagram Spark. They can purchase it online.
Okay. I'll put that information here on the bottom of the screen when this is
Okay.
finished. So this more specifically. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about on this subject that I didn't ask you? Or you're like, come on, Jim, ask me this. Is there something you wanted to mention that we didn't get to?
If your current situation right now is not very favorable to you and you feel like there's nowhere to go or there's no solution, know that the energy is not static. It's constantly flowing. Okay. It flows every 2 hours, every 2 days, 2 months, every month, every year, every luck cycle. Know that there is an answer to all your questions based on your paths of destiny chart. And you can actually go and find an environment where it will help you with your current situation. If you are sick right now, you've been sick, if you are in a difficult relationship, if you have money issues right now and you've been staying in that house, you have to choose to find another place where the energy flow will support your goals and dreams. There is a solution to every problem. You treat energy as like visitors, they come and they go. When you know this, you know that there's always a silver lining. Okay.
Okay.
You don't have to stay where you are.
That's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Master Judith
Thank you,
McKenzie.
Chef
I appreciate your telling me about BaZi. And am I saying it right now, BaZi?
Patsu.
Okay.
Patsu.
People will say Bazi when they see it, but BaZi
Yeah.
is sort of the correct Chinese way of pronouncing it.
If you want to learn more about Patsu and Feng Shui, you may go to my website. That's www.eastwestfengshuisolutions.com.
Okay. And that's going to be right here on the
Yes.
bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Okay, well, Master Judith, thank you so much for enlightening us and for being so transparent about what you have learned and become a master at in the last 15 years. And congratulations on the new book. I really appreciate you helping us with understanding.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's it for Trailheads this week, and we will see you next time. Thanks again.